Hi, and welcome to Insights. Today we're going to talk about emotional mastery. Mastering your emotions is pretty handy because if you can control your emotions, then you can control your body chemistry, basically. And I'm going to tell you how. So what is an emotion? Emotion is nothing more than a chemical response that happens in the body. Bodies are feelings, and as such can be felt in the body if you start to pay attention. They're produced from thoughts, but emotions are physiological. So how do we access our emotions or create emotions? By using our five senses. So we see things, we hear things, feel things, smell things, and taste things in our environment. And that sends a signal to your brain, and your brain pumps out a neurochemical in response to those signals. The neurochemicals get pumped into your bloodstream and connect with every cell in your body. They lock onto the cell and actually can change the vibratory state of those cells. So they either vibrate at a higher or lower frequency, depending on the emotional response felt. Remember, we are completely made of energy. So that's why our cells are energy. So positive emotions can activate certain neurochemicals in our body or from our brain, such as serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin, and endorphins. And we call these the feel-good neurotransmitters or neurochemicals. On the other hand, the emotions of fear, stress, sadness, guilt, anger, they will release the stress hormones of cortisol and adrenaline. And that activates the fight-flight system in our nervous system. And these are the stress neurochemicals. So obviously, these different emotions emit or create a different vibrational frequency in our cells. So if someone asks you how you're feeling and you say, yeah, I'm feeling really good, what's actually happening in your cells is that they're vibrating at a higher frequency, which makes you feel good. Emotions are the body's expression of cellular activity. So when a particular emotion is felt regularly, it creates an emotional signature in our body, and that can become actually quite addictive. So your cells start to crave that particular neurochemical. So this is why when we become addicted to certain behaviors that create certain emotional responses, that create certain chemical reactions in the body, we've all heard of the term drama queen, right? This person unconsciously creates and attracts drama, so their cells can actually get a hit of that emotion that they've become addicted to, which is namely cortisol or adrenaline. So the quality and energetic frequency of emotion is also what determines what we attract into our life. So the emotional frequency or vibe that we're emitting is what attracts like energy into our life, because like energy attracts like energy. So we can actually change what we're attracting by mastering our emotions. How cool is that? So we are not our emotions. We are a vessel. We're a physical vessel that our emotions should, by design, flow through and not get trapped in. If we become fluent in reading our own emotional state, then we can learn to regulate our emotions and then choose to be in the emotions that we want to be in. So if we start to observe rather than absorb our emotions, then they are more able to flow through us and not get trapped and end up on repeat. So how do we do this? We do it through self-observation. This is the beginning of emotional mastery. We first need to pay attention to how our emotions are making us feel. We need to pay attention to how they're feeling in the body. The key is to acknowledge what is triggering the addictive feelings that create our habits of behavior. So when you start to notice and observe what's triggering you and your default reactions and patterns of behavior, you can stop and start to make different choices. So just noticing the triggers and how they create emotional responses in your body. And a common one is anger. Anger puts us straight into the fight-flight response and activates adrenaline and cortisol, which fuels up our cells. You can feel anger in the body. Your neck and shoulder muscles tighten, your breath shortens, and your chest can maybe get tight. So next time you feel angry, I want you to try this. Instead of thinking to yourself, God, I'm angry, change it to, I feel angry. Because when we label our emotions and claim them as part of us, like I am angry is saying I am anger, really, we anchor that in. We anchor that into ourselves physically. So it's basically just observing rather than absorbing the emotion. We can also use our breath to calm our nervous system. You know, long, slow, deep breaths actually send a signal to the vagus nerve that we are safe and switches off that fight-flight activation. And other ways of neutralizing anger or any unwanted emotion is to practice being in the high-frequency emotions of love, joy, gratitude, and peace. And we can do this through mindfulness and just doing anything that you love or enjoy, like being in nature, surfing, being in the ocean, any kind of exercise, meditation, yoga, just anything that helps calm the nervous system and activates those feel-good neurochemicals. Researchers have proven that a 60-second hug can actually activate high levels of oxytocin in the body and can have an immediate impact on your well-being. And they've proven that it does things such as lower your heart rate and blood pressure. So give someone a 60-second heart-to-heart hug today, or hug your pet, and start boosting that oxytocin neurochemical in your body. Also practice observing your emotions and choosing how you want to feel daily by setting those intentions. Get up in the morning and choose how you want to feel. Set that intention. And you do this with a bit of practice, you'll be on your way to emotional mastery. Have fun with it.